Hey guys, Deadmyth here. Round 2 setup actually just started, so I wanted to cover some of my lineups before round 2 started. In this last round, I actually got my entire lineup walked over by a level 52 player again. It was alright because we still won, but essentially everything got one tokened here except for this one. He actually fumbled and did a 2 token, so I'm okay with that. Uh, just to preface this, I am level 44. My guild is level 32, and so we are relegated to Battlefield 1. If you are not Battlefield 1, this is mostly for my homies in Battlefield 1, so uh, you're more than free to learn from this if you are going to learn anything. I don't know how the higher Battlefields work, if they're even close to this, but I do look forward to playing in the higher battlefields once I grow up somewhere. Alright, so as far as my lineups are concerned, I do like to run attrition. If you watched my last video, attrition is my favorite setup to go with. So it's a balanced group. You're looking at range, tank, damage dealers, summoners, and healers. So you're going to see just rhythms and rhymes throughout. So my first rare lineup here starts off with Tangita. Also, every lineup here starts off with a ranged character in the leftmost spot. It's basically to deter the player from using Biovore to bait your AI. In this case, Tangita is a win-win because when he does pop that Biovore spore, he's spawning an exceptionally strong soldier summon, so that's awesome for us. The whole concept for this lineup is to just continually heal Snappereka so that his active just mows down everything downrange. I know Snowprint actually just issued a hotfix on his active so that way it's doing more consistent damage. So we're just keeping an eye out for him and seeing how he does through the season. Actus is here too because any heal he does just provides more firepower, so gotta love that. Cygix here is my wannabe tank. He does give a tiny bit of Overwatch, but he's especially awesome for cutting down anyone in Terminator armor, and also there's that, pesky Bellator if anyone does end up running him. Vitruvius, he's not the ideal. An ideal healer here would be Aleph Null, but he's elsewhere. And then Galatian, he's one of my top most ranked machines of war, so I do run him in this lane. Not really picky. Plague Burst Crawler could go in here as well, but I did put him here to kind of give Showsill more of a punch. Now you do see this second rare lineup. This is just a modified Death Guard ball. I don't have Typhus, so I have to make do with adding Revis and Aleph Null here. Essentially, you have these 4 characters giving a really strong front line to Showsill, especially with Revis's Overwatch. Aleph Null providing heals to Revis and Showsill's drones, as well as providing Scarabs onto the battlefield itself, so that's also just a win-win here. As far as my first uncommon goes, this one did really well in the last season. I think mostly because Chiron was slept on. He actually ends up doing massive amounts of damage by the end of the battle, and that ramp up is just absolutely lethal. Ascor was another sleeper, at least in our guild at Battlefield 1. Just the AoE taunt is awesome, especially with a 50% damage mitigation. Who could ask for more? Carrion, OP character, you got AoE damage up the yin yang here, so love that. Archimedos, his spawns are actually empowered by Ascor's passive, so there's a good synergy going on there. Nicodemus, I was actually considering throwing Rotbone, just switching these 2 guys out. Rotbone has a chance here to res more chaos characters here, so it might be more viable to do that. And then since I'm hoping that this lineup gets 3 to 4 tokens every time I deploy it, I did want to bring in the best MOW here, which is Forge Fiend. Our next uncommon is a GSC NID hybrid. I think this one was actually featured in one of Nandy's recent videos. I don't know if he includes Deathleaper and Holland. These two are actually kind of a sleeper hit in our last Guild War as well. Kind of a peanut butter and jelly, if you will. Deathleaper and Holland, I don't know why they work so well together. I'm not sure how the AI works, but I did want to include Wing Prime in there to kind of give Deathleaper more of a fighting chance. And GSC here is just adding much more chaos into the mix here with their clones. Overall, just an annoying lineup to play against. So we definitely want to field annoying lineups, especially with Malleus Rocket Launcher just chucking troops down the field. That's awesome. And my final uncommon lineup here, another balanced one. This one is more thematic to kind of like a World of Warcraft rogue. This is the Stunlock theme. So we got Asoth providing 2 stuns with that active, God's Will doing 1 stun with the active, and then Macer doing multiple stuns with his passive. So anytime Macer gets a kill, anytime he touches someone, that's a stun, baby. Love that. Mogan Raw is kind of a glass cannon here. I was thinking about putting Certus in because he does have maybe a little more health. I gotta check on that. But Mogan Raw is just a badass, and I want to field a badass if I can. And Incisus, I don't really have too many more options for healing here, so that's my character for healing. And then Biovore, again, I don't have a lot of options remaining for MOW. My Sanji is really low, and my Exorcist is non-existent. I did not get a chance to unlock Exorcist yet, but that's something to consider for myself down the road. So that's it. Those are my lineups for Season 17. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to shoot a comment down in the section below. And feel free to share your lineups. If you got anything crazy or anything that works really well, I would love to hear from you. Hopefully you did get a chance to download my defensive spreadsheet, at least to just mark down your own lineup, or at least maybe your friend's lineup. I don't expect anyone to do their whole guild, unless you're the War Master for the guild. That's something that I strongly recommend, but if you're just a casual player, don't worry about doing your entire guild. That's a little much to ask for. But I was hoping to get everyone to share their data with me at the end of the season. That way I can make a nice huge compilation video and we can run through all the data, even through different battlefields. So if that's something that interests you, I would love to see that data. Once again, I hope you get more than 2 tokens here with your lineups. And until next time, GG.